Alright, so when we're looking at multiplying integers, it looks really similar to multiplying just positive numbers. A couple rules that you might go by would be, if we have the same sign, the answer is going to be positive. That means a negative times a negative equals a positive, and a positive times a positive would obviously be a positive. We also have, if there's different signs, our answer is going to be negative. So a negative times a positive is a negative, and a positive times a negative is also a negative. We're going to look into why that is. So if I had something like 4 times negative 3, well, that means, I have 4 groups of negative 3. So if I'm looking at that, there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's 12 negative signs. I have 4 groups of negative 3. Looking at, another example would be, I have 5 times a negative 4, means I have 5 groups of negative 4. So there's 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. 5 groups of negative 4. 5 times 4 is 20, and I only have negatives. So I'm at 20. I gave 5 people $4, means I'm down $20. I played 5 rounds of golf, and each time I shot a negative 4. Overall for the tournament, I'm a negative 20. Carried the ball 5 times. Each time I lost 4 yards. I'm at a negative 20. So that's why a positive times a negative is a negative, because I have groups of negative things. 4 groups of 3 negatives. There's only negatives here, so my answer has to be negative. Now when we're going at something like negative 3 times negative 2, that is a, positive 6. The best way I can describe this is like saying I'm taking away 3 groups of negative 2. So at the bank, sometimes with ATM fees, right, the bank will charge you ATM fees. Well, if they took away those fees, then your bank account would go up. So on my bank account, I had this for ATM fees if I was looking at the transactions page. Right? This is saying 3 times the bank took away that fee. So they took it away, they subtracted that fee. So that would mean it's a +2 in my bank, and a +2 in my bank, and a +2 in my bank. 3 times they took away a charge of negative 2. So my bank goes up $6. Batman took out 3 groups of 2 bad guys. So here there's 2 bad guys, 2 bad guys, 2 bad guys. Well, if Batman takes out these 2 bad guys, takes out those 2 bad guys, takes out those 2 bad guys, it moves the city in a positive direction. For taking out bad guys, moves us in the positive direction. Other ways that you might see this would include something like, let's say, negative 3 to the 3rd power. That would be negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. That means negative 3 is multiplied together 3 times. So a negative times a negative makes a positive. 3 times 3 is 9. And then positive 9 times negative 3 is a negative 27. I have 9 groups of negative 3. So we're at negative 27. But if it was simply this, that would be a negative 3 times a negative 3, which makes a positive 9.